I just can't give it up. Yeah, yeah. Yes sir, what is going on YouTube? It is your boy D Nally, aka Don Squallion. In today's video, we are going to be installing a set of RSR lowering springs on my buddy's Infiniti Q50. Now this is an all-wheel drive model, so this is going to be the same, I'm pretty sure, for some G37 all-wheel drives, but most definitely the Q50 and the Infiniti Q60. So first thing we're going to do is jack the front up in the air and remove the front tires. Then we're going to go ahead and undo the top bolt of this little horseshoe bracket at the bottom of the strut. Now on the passenger side, I did find it easier to actually undo the bottom bolt on the horseshoe. We also went ahead, undid the bolt for this upper control arm, and then under the hood you're going to see 3 bolts for the top of the strut on both the driver's side and the passenger side. So as you can see here, we ended up getting the strut out relatively easily with a little bit of wiggling. You can see on the passenger side, I actually went ahead and took that whole horseshoe bracket off, which I really didn't have to. And then once we got both front struts out, we went ahead and compressed the springs with some spring compressors and undid the center nut, separating the shocks from the springs. And then you can see the top hats there. So now when you're installing the springs, one thing you do want to do is just make sure that the bottom of your spring actually seats in this little cup you can see here. That's very important. Just make sure that's seating properly. And then go ahead, compress your springs and install that top nut. And as you can see, we have 2 complete front struts here. Then you're just going to go ahead, reinstall those the same way they came out. You can see we put that horseshoe bracket back in just because that really didn't have to come out in the first place. And with a little bit of wiggling, as you can see, both driver's side and passenger side have been reinstalled. Now moving on to the rear is actually very easy. There's just 1 bolt here at the bottom. Then if we move inside of the car, a few trim pieces had to come off behind the rear seats. But once you take them off, you have a little access port here where you're going to see the top 3 bolts for the rear struts. Luckily, my buddy disassembled the rear seats before he got to my place, so I didn't have to worry about that. But once you get the seats out, it's pretty straightforward, as you can see. And again, once you get both sides out, you're just going to go ahead, compress the spring with a spring compressor, remove that center nut, and then install your lowering springs. And once the lowering springs are installed onto your shocks, we just went ahead, reinstalled those. Now one thing I did find is it was good to have an extra set of hands when getting these back struts aligned with the holes inside the car. But once the shocks were reinstalled, we just went ahead, tightened everything down, threw the wheels back on, and dropped this bad boy on the ground. And after that, we went ahead, took the car for a little drive around the block, make sure everything was tightened up and there was no clunks. And then obviously did a little walk around as to how the car's sitting right now. But that's pretty much it. In total, this install took about 2.5 hours. Very easy working on such a new car. Just a pleasure. And as you can see, we went from a stock ride height, which was I think 28 inches, to right around 26.5 inches, both front and back on this Q50. So if you guys did enjoy this one, don't forget to smash that like button. If you guys want to see more and you're not subscribed yet, definitely do so. So with that being said, I am your boy D Nally, aka Don Squallion. I just want to say thank you guys for watching, and we're gonna catch y'all mofos at the next one. Peace.
you.